Push record. Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Dan, or Run Dan Run, and welcome to another episode of The Runaround, where me and a guest talk to you about everything and anything. Life, maybe beer, maybe food, maybe cannabis, maybe exercise and squats. I don't know, but today's guest is our good friend that we've known now for 4 years, Mr. BBBubbz. So I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to get him on in here. There we go. It worked. Perfect. Look at that. Look at it. It worked.
Look at it go.
Look at that go. It's like I've done this 4 times.
What's up, man? How you doing? It's very funny. I didn't realize you were gonna use this for this, so I'm like got my floating head.
I love it.
Just down here, and I'm like up here too. So I'm just kind of like.
Well, I can lean back because I have.
Very surreal.
I can lean back so that we have like my logo and the.
Oh yeah. Hey, hold on. No, this will set it apart. It'll make my hair not look so long and raggedy. Like I need a haircut. And I'll just do this. I'll put on the merch.
All right, I like it. I like it. That's actually one of the topics. Look at that. That's a great segue. How you doing, man? How was stream? So for those that don't know, that don't listen or are not watching this live on Twitch, Bubs and I do stream on Twitch. How was your stream today?
It was good, man. We hung out. It was National Dog Day yesterday, and I didn't realize that. So I was like, "Oh, guys, we got to make up for that. Post all your dog pictures in the Discord, and we'll like look at them on stream." And then we ended up playing Venba. If you ever heard of that, it's like this indie game that came out about this family that moved from India, or this couple that moved from India to Canada, and it's just about their life in Canada and trying to like survive and get by. And it also mixes in like they're just like life story, but in that they put all of this cooking into it. So it's like the connection back to their roots in India. They're making all this food, so that's why we watched it too. So it has all these recipes when you finish the game. It's not a very long game, but it's a very good story.
You got me hooked, or I'm going to play it soon. The Thank Goodness You're Here. That was a trippy.
Yeah.
Holy hell, that was a trippy game.
That game was wild. Another really short game. It doesn't take very long. I was like, I love these ones. I can play it in one stream, and we can just make that the stream. That's great, you know. So it's fun. It's fun to be able to play those short ones. The short and sweet ones are a lot of fun to play on stream.
Nice.
Kind of want to play more of those.
Nice. I like it. Well, what I like to do to start the podcast, it's running themed, you know, like, yes, I've done a lot of rebranding and stuff. We're back to Run Dan Run, and I'll get back to running someday. But the first part of the stream is a little bit of, we call it the warm up. So I want to kind of give you the floor, let you kind of introduce yourself to everyone, and, you know, like how long you've been streaming, how long you've been chefing, stuff like that. So I want to kind of like just let you say hey to everybody.
Well, hey everybody. My name is BBBubbz. That's 3 B's, UBBZ. Okay, it's a lot of B's, I know. But it's the same across everything. And we do a lot of cooking on Twitch, and I've been doing that for about 4 years. I've been cooking for 20 years before that, and just kind of been doing a lot of different aspects of working in kitchens. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to be able to bring my gifts that I learned in the kitchens to stream, and then oddly enough, in my new position, the things that I've learned in streaming to my new position. So it's been a very interesting kind of progression of what I've been doing, which has been a lot of fun to do. So yeah, things have been nice. Things have been going pretty good so far. I'm stoked on it.
Nice. I like the full circleness of that. Like that's really neat. The circle of life, as Chad says. I like that. Like, you know, we found each other. I found your stream. I think I came over 4-ish years ago, 4.5. June. Yeah, a little over June that year. I used to be on Mixer, you know, that was a dumpster fire, and you know, it went up in flames. But I can't remember where I was, but someone's like, "Oh, you know who it was? It's our friend PTM, Powder Toast Man." He's like, "This guy BBBubbz is about to brew," and I'm like, "I'm there."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was my first brew stream we were coming into, and I was like, "Oh God,
yeah,
got a brewer."
This is a saison, I think, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. I still have all of the equipment in the garage.
That's awesome.
That's the thing. So I need to get a better garage setup so I can keep it out there, but and let it do its thing and test it out.
I like it. I like it. We yeah, like, and we've done some collabs. Like, we've done a couple of BBBubbz themed beers. We did a couple of like three-way collabs with
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah.
The last one I think we did, we decided to mix it up, and Cat brewed, you
Yes.
baked, and then I
Yep.
made
You made a
food.
savory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun. And then
Yeah. We all did our thing. I love
yeah,
that.
it was cool. Everybody's like, wait, what? Like, it was fun. Like, and then life, like, you moved twice now, I think, since you started, right?
Yeah, so I lived in Portland. That's where I
Mm-hmm.
started streaming. And then Jess and I got married in 21, sold the
Mm-hmm.
house, moved to Vegas, and we were renting from her aunt for a little bit, which was really amazing to have that kind of support as we walked in. But then, yeah, we moved into our house just a little over a year ago now, and it's
I
been
like
it's
it.
been awesome. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we were like in the same time, I think, doing the house stuff, and I was
Yeah, that's
taking
right.
notes. Like, your new kitchen, I was taking notes. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It's nice when you can get into your own space and make it your own like that.
yeah.
I had that in Portland and I missed that for sure, but it was even better now because of like how I envisioned I wanted my kitchen to look anyway over the
Hmm.
years as a fresh start, not having to like gut everything.
Yeah,
So that was really cool. That was a lot of
nice.
fun.
Yeah, we have our kitchen upstairs. We're gonna eventually like gut and redo. Like, this one will be, it's this. I'm just still working out
Yeah.
like cameras and stuff, but yeah. This is
Yeah,
this is the
always,
an
always.
an ode to the original screen name, the Fourth Room Brewing Test Kitchen. So
Yes. Bringing it back. Yes.
yeah, a little bit. Like, we're gonna get back to brewing. I keep telling Chad I have a date. I'm just not gonna tell
Yeah.
him yet. But November, we're
I
gonna
know.
do a little brew.
Well, you've been sober now, yes?
107 days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So I understand. Like, are you gonna try and just do like non-alcoholic brews?
I've actually been researching that. I'm gonna do like alcohol, like beer, for like friends and family. I'll let them have it.
Okay.
But for me, I've been researching like non-alcoholic brews and how to do it. And then also there's, I don't know if you've heard of them, but Hop Lark, they do like
Okay.
tea, like hop infused teas, but they say they brew their tea like you brew beer, which I'm like, that's like 1,000 questions. Like, do you let
Yeah.
it steep or mash for like how do you do that? So I want to like look into doing things like that, and like I still
Yeah.
want to do that. I know you and I have talked in your stream, an infused mead for Norgie. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
still like
Mm-hmm.
I told chat, there's a little bit, little edible, like, I
Yeah.
want to work on doing like an infused little something something, but send it to like you and Norgie, and let you guys kind of try it. And we're gonna do, I think, blackberry is what we're gonna do.
Well, hell,
So
if anything, it could be something where you teach me how to make it at the
we could,
collab stream, and
yeah,
we could do it that way. That way you could
we could do
brew
that
it
too.
and give it just like homies, and then you could be like,
Yeah,
okay, I know this works. I'm
yeah,
gonna walk you
we could do
through it
that.
because then I can just be like, yeah, now I know.
Like, the nice
Teach
thing
me
is
to
like,
fish.
yeah, like, that's like doing the beer. I can do it without having to taste it, and I know it's gonna be
Hmm.
good. And like, mead is even easier. Like, we could
Yeah.
like next week, if you could get honey, we could do a collab stream, like both make a mead, and then it's basically honey, a little water, yeast, and then like fruit, like, if you want to flavor it.
Do you need special caps or anything like that?
So I actually do wine bottles, because you're not going to carbonate it really, but like, it goes in
Oh,
your
okay.
fermenter. And
Yeah.
with mead, you give it like a month, depending on what it is. The longer it's like wine, you give it longer to like ferment and
Yeah.
stuff. I
Yeah.
usually give my meads like 3 months, just to be safe. So I like a dry mead though.
Yeah.
Um, and I use like champagne yeast, which feels very fancy.
Okay. But no, I like that too. I can dig that. That would be
Okay.
kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because like somebody just wrote blackberry smoke infused beer, and I'm like, I do have a smoker, so we could just smoke
same.
some berries,
Yeah.
and then you put whatever, the infusion in, and then
Uh-huh.
you would have, you
Yeah.
know, a very unique flavor because you're not going to be wanting to taste the cannabis in that. You're not gonna, you just
No.
want the infusion,
Yeah.
so it's like do big flavors is what I always say. Some
Yeah, like we
smoky
could
peaches. Oh. Yeah.
Could smoke some honey as well, I would think. Like not
Yeah.
too long, but I think what it takes like
No.
a half hour to get smoke
Oh
in.
yeah. You just lay it out thin
Yeah.
and do it like that. Not so
Yeah.
thin, but yeah, you can do it. And then while it's still hot, you just put it
Yeah.
right in.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
man, that'd be fun. Yeah, like
Yep.
it
Yep. Yep.
let's do that. I'm gonna mods, can I get a reminder to talk to Bubs about a mead collab? Because that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
That would be awesome. I'd love that.
What made you start streaming? Like you said, like 4-ish years. Like what made you hit go live for the first time, man?
It's really funny. I remember a buddy of mine, B Rye Willie.
Yeah.
He was streaming for a bit, and I loved hanging out in his streams. And so I started
Okay.
going around and being like, oh man, there's some different things happening here that I didn't even realize. So I started doing research onto it and was like, can I even do it? How would I do it? Do I have time to do this? All that kind of shit, just the who, what, when, where, why.
Yeah.
And it kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I think I can do this off of my computer without having to buy anything. And I talked to some friends at a party. I was in LA and I ran into a streamer who was on Food and Drink at the time.
Hmm.
And I asked them, I was like, what's the best way to get started? And they were just like, just start. You'll figure it out as you go. It's like,
Nice.
honestly, it's always going to be. So just start. You won't know until you try. Just don't put any money into it. And that's since the beginning, that's been my main thing. It's like, don't put money into it unless you got the money, like to do it, like from the stream. Like I was like, use your stream as the way to build your stream,
Yeah.
kind of thing. If you want to go it that way, but like really just try to figure out how to make your stream the best it can be, just from what you have.
Yeah.
That way, if you really got something in it or not. And it was just one of those moments. I was like, all right, so I did it and pressed go live, and there was a lot of terrible mistakes and awful things, and I just watched videos and figured it out. It was my hobby while I was cooking in kitchens.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this could be a cool creative outlet outside of my job, and
Nice.
that's how it started.
Okay. What keeps like what I like about your streams? I like that you try things. You I don't want to say like trial and error, but like you have really like watching you grow the last 4 years. Like you got it's tight. Like and I like it. It's fun, but like I like that you have like you're doing some games now and stuff. And I'm assuming part of
Yeah.
that is because like the cost of food sometimes and like doing food
Yeah.
streams and cooking streams is
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
Yeah. Yeah, food cost is really high.
mhm.
So I try to do a lot of what's in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like if I get one ingredient that I'm like, what can I make? And I just like think about, I try to keep always like have a really well-stocked pantry
Okay.
and well-stocked, like spice covered, because it's just like that helps. But overall, it's like, what can I make with what we have? And what can I not have to buy a ton of? So it's nice to be able to do the gaming streams. One, because we get introduced to really cool games, like I was just talking about Venmo
Yeah.
before, and like we were with the other one. Thank goodness you're here. Really like cool, funny games that I'm like, I would normally not play this one if it weren't for the stream.
Yeah.
So like these are the ones that kind of like pull me out of my shell in gaming and expose me to some like cooler indie games
Hmm.
that I otherwise might not like play all the way through or might ignore otherwise. Because the
Hmm.
community is what brings these titles forward. So, but yeah, and it's cool to be able to make enough in the stream to support the stream itself, right? It's
Right.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm buying the food for it, or these games or something like that. That's like the overall goal. So it's been nice to be able to do that over the years and to kind of get a bunch of cool gear because of it. Like over 4 years, I've put together a pretty good production. I feel like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty wild,
Yeah.
you know.
It's impressive and it's been fun to kind of watch, as a girl. Like some of the fun streams are like the Switch where you were doing like dollar games. We would go
Oh
through
yeah,
like
$2 Tuesdays.
two,
Yeah. We
yeah,
gotta,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
that shit like that we gotta bring back. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I haven't done that in a minute.
I liked when you were playing Stardew, but then you were also tying it into the kitchen as well and doing like the
Yeah.
Stardew cookbook. Like, that's really great. And I know like you were doing collabs with Kat, doing like the tier lists and stuff. And
The
like,
tier list, yeah.
yeah, I like how you've developed your stream and like your community's great. Like we
Oh,
share
thanks,
some
man.
folks, but your community's
No,
great. And I'm
they're great when they're not trolls. Yeah. Well, even
uh,
when they are trolls, that's not true because they're
yeah,
always trolls.
yeah.
So that's
Like I'm kind of trolling back because like usually so far I've turned like all the channel point stuff off, but now I just have it there to like tempt him. Like, go ahead, try it,
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
it. It ain't gonna do nothing. Try it.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
to...
yeah. Oh, the redemptions, the channel point redemptions are half the fun, I feel like.
Oh yeah,
I've got too many of those. I've got too
I
many of
can
those.
relate. I can
Yeah.
relate.
Keep adding them on. That's all.
That and like you've got Tangia, I've got Blurp. Like we just keep adding
Yeah.
stuff and just
Yeah.
like we have custom commands. Like I remember one of the good things to come out of the attempted merger. I don't want to talk too much on it, but like I really saw how many commands I had. I'm like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it's a
I'm
lot,
sorry.
man.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
yeah. I for all the different commands between tier 1, 2, and 3 subs.
yep.
There's just so many. And then on top of that, there's the personalized sound commands that people get. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my
It's
God.
great.
It's ridiculous.
Like
Yeah.
there are days I can hear my bot just kind of
Yeah. Screaming, please stop.
stop,
Please hold on. Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, our mine definitely has those derp moments where
Yep.
I'm like, wait, that should work. Why didn't that work? Uh-oh, might have to restart it.
Yep. I
Yeah,
like
just hold
mine.
on, guys.
The stream machine just has a problem with like Chrome or like browser sources, and sometimes it's just like, yeah, no, we're done. And it's like
Yeah,
the bot's just over it.
I'm
So
done doing this. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
One of the questions. Okay, this is a couple questions from the community. Like that
Yeah,
we did this agenda like a month ago. I was a little chicken to ask and reach out,
yeah.
but we
Don't
had
be.
look with the whole like merger thing. I felt like I
Hey,
pulled
don't worry
back from
about that.
folks,
No, but don't
but
worry about that. No, always, man. Just reach out. I'm good.
I
We've done so
I
many things before, you know.
yeah.
This is this is just homies. This is
I
what I'm
can't
talking about.
remember who asked this, but I gotta ask, what's the weirdest request that you've gotten from a viewer on stream?
What's the weirdest request I've gotten from a viewer on stream? Well, you get those trolls that come in that are like, I dare you to pour that over your head, and I'll give you like 50 subs if you do it. And you're just
Yeah.
like, I'm always like, what? No, how would I'm like, I would know who fall. Do people fall for that? That is
Right?
like, I feel bad for them. Like that sucks. Like, no, you get paid up front for those kind of jobs, man. No,
Yeah.
dude, I ain't no way. So there's always those folks that come in. I'm trying to think of like if there was a weird dish or anything like that that somebody asked to make. But normally what ends up happening is in my brain, they're like they say some weird dish, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. I don't know why you want to do that. Is that like a specific thing? I'd like try to ask these questions, understand it, and then be like, but if you change it on this side and you do it like this, you could maybe have a little da da da, and it just turns into this like oh, let's make this dish then. And they're like, huh? Whoa, okay, cool. That came out of that. I was just kind of kidding, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, well, it can be done, I guess. So
We used to do challenges with the beers, and I have one. If you ever come to Chicago, I have two growlers of it back behind my fat head right here.
oh, it's like the secret stash.
It's there. It's mainly saved for the two people that wanted me to try it. It's butter and soy, and it's one of those you taste it, you're like, mm, 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 I found if you're very drunk or very high, you're like, I can get into this. But if you're not, it's like, no, why? Why?
You're questioning everything.
Yeah. But I've got two growlers mainly for those guys if they come to visit, but I'll share. Like I made What Do I Bother and the Jewish Bear, two of my friends like that have become friends in real life from stream. I made them try it, and they're like, no, I hate you for making me try this.
You're like, okay, now drink a couple of these and let's try it again later. Like you want to set it up.
Yeah. But it's not a good combo because like butter and soy are like flavors you get when beer isn't good.
I was gonna say, I was like, maybe if you did like I can imagine that in a different context, but maybe just not in a drinking context. That's right.
I have marinated with it and it's worked okay, but
well, soy sauce and some butter or something like that. Maybe some clarified butter, all that. But oh yeah, no, as a drink,
not in a beer.
Yeah, that sounds rough.
Yeah,
That sounds rough.
yeah, it was very like, ooh. The spicy ones have been fun. Mostly because I've had run friends like take some. Like I gave my friend Bethy, who's like she's run like 30 marathons, and she scares me a little bit, but in the fun way.
Mhm.
But she took a mango habanero bear, put it in the fridge. She ran
Oh,
10 miles, came home, opened it, and just downed half the bottle before she realized it was mango
mango
habanero.
habanero. Oh,
Uh-huh.
fuck. How
She
hot
called
were
me
those?
really hot. It
Oh,
was,
Jesus.
and I'm like, it literally says on the label, mango feel the burn, and with the hot when it says habanero, she's like, I still hate you. I'm like, that's fair. It's still your own fault.
Oh my God, dude. If you could figure out how to make those beers and make them non-alcoholic,
Yep.
you could do an actual fucking hot ones episode. You doing a bunch of different
Yes.
beers where you had people come over and you or
That would
just
be
do it as a
awesome.
party favor at for like it's like here guys, like here, let's play a game. It's not
Yeah.
alcoholic, but it's very good. It tastes
Yeah.
great,
Yeah. Try it.
whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Try
would be
it.
fun. Like
Oh God.
I did one pepper beer where I grilled the peppers, but I grilled them inside, and basically I made
Mm.
pepper spray.
Yeah.
It was at
Yeah.
the old place, and I was downstairs, and it hit me right away, so I stopped. But then Kelly worked literally right above the stove, and like 5 minutes later, she's like, "What? What did you do?" I'm like, "I am so
Yeah.
sorry." Like,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
If you don't have proper ventilation, be
Yeah,
very, very careful
yeah.
with that kind of stuff. Always
Lesson.
open up the windows and
Yep.
turn on a fan, just get the air blowing in one direction
Yes.
and then go for it.
That was
Otherwise you're gonna be in a bad state.
the second worst pepper mistake on stream that I've done ever. Like, yeah, that was brutal.
I just like the title of the second most.
The
This adds such an allure of mystery, a shroud of oh really, Dan? Is that what
it's enshrined as a quote in chat. It's quote
and
110. It was my birthday in 2018. I was making the pepper beer, and I cut the pepper
yeah.
and touched the
Oh
pepper,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I went to the bathroom and I touched
Yep.
my pepper, not thinking.
Yep. Yep.
There was a bowl of milk involved.
That's a rookie mistake.
Yep.
Yep. Oh yeah. I had to send somebody home for that very reason.
Oh no.
I hadn't worked in a restaurant before. It was it was bad. It was bad. But
Didn't that happen on an episode of
nice.
Hot Ones where a guy did the same thing?
Oh, I hope not. Was
I
that wait,
can't-
wasn't that Gordon Ramsay? Didn't Gordon Ramsay like touch his face a bunch of times?
It might have been him, but it was another guy that actually he was gonna do. He went to the hot wing first. He
Oh
was like, "Oh,
yeah.
we're gonna go
Oh,
backwards," and then he went to the bathroom and he's like, "Oh no!"
I did not see that one. So
That's
oh my God, I wish I had.
I can't remember when it was. Like he went all in for it. He went for it, and I'm like, "That's not gonna work out for you." But then it all hit and it was white. I'm like, "Dude,
That show is the perfect example of Schadenfreude and why it worked so well if you
yes,
do it properly. Like, oh, this is intriguing and hilarious
yes,
and painful, and I'm also just glad it's not me. But you also would like it's one of those things that's like so mainstream now that people watch it and they're like, one day I'll be so popular, I'll be on Hot Ones.
yep,
It's like you don't want to be on it, but you also would be stoked to get
oh yeah,
invited.
100%."
You
Like
know, be
I'd
like,
make it like yeah. I'd get halfway through the sauces and be like, "I don't want to do this anymore."
mm-hmm. Well, I think a lot of people would.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would.
I think you're right. I
I've
agree.
tried the last dab before, and I'm like, oh, like just started with the last dab. I was like, oh God, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's spicy, dude. Jesus Christ, just nose running, just like
Yep. I did the one chip challenge for a reward a couple
yeah,
years ago, and
yeah, yeah. I did that as well. Yeah, yeah, I did that as well.
well, we
Oh
do
my
now.
God.
We have this one. We have the spicy beans now that we got for
No, oh God, yeah, I can't do those.
oh,
I can't
like
do those anymore.
the sriracha one's actually good. The rest of them can fuck right off.
Mm-hmm.
Like nope, I don't like this. And
Oh yeah,
Moser.
Moser. Yeah,
Oh,
one of one of the guys, he did that, but he did it on an empty stomach and just thought he could do it right off the cuff. Had to get his stomach pumped. It was
Oh
terrible.
no.
We
Oh
went to the
no.
hospital. He was like in pain. I was like, oh yeah, dude. I took like Prilosec and Tums
Yep.
or Pepto Bismol and Prilosec beforehand, and ate like a mac and cheese bowl with chicken and all that. Like I had a base. I
Yep.
had coating. I was ready, dude. We had ice
Yep.
cream bars in the fridge. I had towels that were wet in the freezer. You
Oh,
know, and
that's a
I was just
smart
like, yeah, I'm
idea.
ready.
Yeah.
I was like, I was
Like
ready.
and
I
it like
needed it.
that
Used it
lasted for
all.
like a half hour. But like once
Mm-hmm.
you were done, it was like never doing that again. And then I keep
Nope.
putting it up as a for fundraising. I'm like, oh, you can do it again. Like it's like that in scary streams because I'm an idiot. I don't learn. Like, sure, sure.
Nope. 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 Not doing the spicy stuff anymore. Can't do it.
Oh
It
no,
kills me.
I
Yeah.
like. I'm too old for it too. I'm getting too old, and like I still like want to go out and like exercise and stuff. And that just that's a bad like that morning after. Ooh, mm-mm, mm-mm. No. A,
Yeah.
a question from a viewer, another one. Where do you find all the different amazing shirts you wear on stream?
The secret to that is my wife.
Hey.
She finds all these shirts for me. There's occasionally sometimes like we're out and I'm like, ooh, like we're going like thrift shopping and stuff. I'm like, this one's not bad,
Nice.
but she normally goes through and does like a look around because she's always
Mhm.
she goes to thrift shops and all that kind of stuff and loves to like just find those hidden gems, like her and her friends do it. Like her
Okay.
cousin that lives out here, they go shopping sometimes so he can find some things for work and all that. But like for me at work, I wear a chef coat.
Yeah.
So like I walk in with a shirt, take it off, and then put the chef coat on, and then like, so like that shirt never really gets dirty.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really just one of those moments where like I get all these different shirts and some of them are great, and yeah, Jess has got a good eye.
That's
Jess
awesome.
has got a real good eye. I might have shrunk some the other day though. I'm a little bummed. So
No. Oh,
I know. This is why she doesn't let me do laundry, dude. This is why she doesn't let me do laundry. I fuck things up.
I
She was like, "You're
I'm
supposed
saying.
to hang those shirts." I was like, "Oh no, oh god." I'm like, I don't know what to say. I feel like in that moment, I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I didn't hang the shirts. I love
Yeah.
those shirts too. I'm sad. This is what
We
happens."
we have an air dry. We're like, that's and Kelly's like, Dan, that's the air dry hamper. I'm like, oh, so
Yeah. Oops.
oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will say air drying out here is wonderful. It happens so quickly.
Nice.
It's the desert.
Yeah.
It's dry.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's really great.
It's here with the humidity. It sucks. Like it's not
Yeah,
like
no.
Florida sucks, but
Well, no, but I understand. I lived in Portland, Oregon, for
yeah.
years, and like
Yeah.
hanging things to dry was kind of like its own horrible joke because it was
Yeah.
like, when will that happen?
Like we'll be on the plane in a week and it's still gonna be wet going home. Like yeah.
Yeah, if your towel rack isn't right above a dryer or a heat vent, you're not gonna
Yes.
dry anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
oh, fuck
we
that.
had a burst pipe last winter
Oh,
and
fuck.
like 2 inches of water the entire basement and it was in the most random spot. Like our neighbor, he's a great guy. He's like a jack of all trades. Yeah, it's like, hey, I need help. I hear a whooshing
Yeah.
sound in our bedroom wall. He's like, what? I'm like, just
Oh,
come over.
yeah.
Like, so he walks in. He's like, how's it going? I was like, I'm living the dream, man. Just standing here with a shop vac trying to suck up all the water. But like, we had to buy like bajillions of towels and fans to try to dry. Like, it was
Oh
horrible.
yeah. You get those giant fucking fans that you
Yep.
have out there. Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. I know. I was thinking about like I see those sometimes and I'm like, why do people need that? And then I was like, yeah, I know why people need that. Yep, I remember. I've seen that before. Like,
Oh.
it makes sense if you get in that situation, man.
Hmm.
Because yeah, terrible.
It's gross. Um,
Yeah.
what are your future streaming or content creation plans? Like how do you see yourself? Are you gonna keep doing it, like kind of like just for fun? Are you gonna grow it more? What are you thinking of doing?
Well, we've done so many different bits on the
Mhm.
stream that I like. I mean,
Mhm.
GeoGuessr, or we took a riff on GeoGuessr and made
Yeah.
GastroGuessr, and that's a
Yeah.
big successful stream. I feel like people have a lot of fun. It kind
Love
of
it.
takes the whole stream for people to kind of get into the vibe and like,
Yeah.
oh, this is how this works,
Uh-huh.
but also to get like enough way through the recipes and some of the hints to actually have maybe a more cohesive idea that they can all agree upon,
Okay.
as far as what the dish is, because the point of the show is that you get, for those who don't know, is I'm talking about this whole thing like everybody fucking knows. You get this game, and I'm only presenting the ingredients to you, and then you have to watch the method of cooking. So
Mhm.
based upon the method of cooking and the ingredients you see, chat has to distinguish what the country of origin is and what the dishes are. So, I mean, some people can figure out what the dish is, and then they're just like, oh, and that's from this country, or they figure out the country based upon like the flavor ingredients and kind of what they're seeing. So it's very interesting to see everybody's minds at work, and
I like that.
it's always a good time. So things like that, zodiac birthdays, and it's hard because it's like, life, like we talked about, life happens. You go on
Mhm.
vacation, you do this. Work has just started, so now I'm working more. It's harder to I have to really focus in on planning and
Mhm.
scheduling, so that I can do stuff like that. But that's some of the things that I've been thinking about recently, and like
Okay.
trying to keep things a little bit more chill and cohesive, and just kind of keep going back to those kind of bits, and like planning it out properly, so that it just kind of like has a little bit more fun, a little bit more flow to all of it,
Nice.
but then also adding in the gaming aspect, and doing some community gaming days, trying to play more games like we spoke about before, so it's just like
Yeah.
kind of one and done, and maybe playing like a story based game as well if I'm doing 3 days, because most of the
Okay.
time my schedule will be like I'm off during the week, so I
Mhm.
can do cooking streams, and then the rest of the week it's going to be in the mornings, so I can kind of write my schedule based upon that.
Okay.
But overall, man, yeah, I'm just trying to keep it going because I love streaming. I love my community. It's like it really is so much fun. We have such a good time, and I'm trying to bring more stuff. Like I want to do more charity streams because I was like, I haven't done one of those in a while,
Mhm.
and just kind of bring back some of the good stuff and not have so much worry.
Okay.
Because for a while it was a lot of financial things going on, and it was like, man, I got the job, and that's like I'm kind of like, this is great because it really does take the stress off of feeling like, oh God, I need this to survive. That was
Right.
terrible. It wasn't working. It couldn't
Ah.
couldn't do it anymore. And for a while it was doing all right by Jess and I, but I was just like, no, this isn't something we can do anymore.
Yeah.
So, got the job, and it was kind of wild that it progressed the way it did, that I started 2 months ago and I'm already in the sous chef position. So it's kind of like, all right, let's go. It's,
Nice.
we're getting in places and making it happen.
I like it. That's awesome. Um, have you ever? Okay, so I'm trying to decide which one to do. Have you ever considered opening your own restaurant, or have you opened your own restaurant before?
No, never opened my own. Helped other people open theirs.
Hmm.
I don't really think I'd want to open up a restaurant. If I did, I would want to have something like a food cart or something that's a little bit more small, more
Yeah.
focused on one particular item. So it would just be kind of like we're doing the same thing
Yeah.
each time, like, but it's just a slamming product. Like, there's
Okay.
always that dream of like a hot dog cart where it's like I'm just going to make one type of hot dog, and then do a rotation of different specials that might be a different sausage every now and then.
Okay.
And then you just build the dogs differently based
Yeah.
upon, what you want to do. But like making the hot dogs yourself kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's like you're putting in that effort. That's been the only thing that I've ever thought about as far as if I was going to open up my own joint, like just fucking bomb ass food cart that you could do like
Yes.
all these different things.
Yeah.
I like that kind of fun stuff. I did that for a little bit in Portland. So
Okay.
I guess no, I did open up my own restaurant in that sense, because I did a pop up where I did basically just that.
Okay.
No, I did a hot dog, I did a bratwurst, I did a fried chicken dog. So it was a raw
Oh.
sausage that
Okay.
was then dredged in a
Yeah.
seasoned rice flour mixture and then deep fried. You do a double dredge and deep fry it.
Yeah.
and then I just dressed it with a spicy aioli and a ferment coleslaw, and it was one of the biggest sellers I always had on that menu, you know. And
Hmm.
then there was just a rotating dog that I would have, and sometimes I would do a collaborative thing with other people. One of my viewers actually had a hot sauce company for a while. I knew him because he
Yes.
worked with me at the sandwich shop that I ran,
Okay.
and so we did a collab where I used his hot sauce in one of the sausages, and I made it was a meatloaf hot dog. So I just basically made a
Nice.
meatloaf mixture,
Yeah.
piped that when those came out, and then I made a bunch of like, what was it? It was a I used his peppers to do a sauce as well.
Ooh.
So there was like this like pepper kind of chutney ketchup-y kind of thing, and I put uh, griddled cheesy potatoes, those red potatoes.
Yeah.
I just made like a
Oh.
Mornay sauce really quick and then tossed it all together and then smashed it flat, chilled it down, and then you could griddle them so they'd get this like frico crust on each side, and then I just
Dude.
tucked it in on each side and with that chutney and fried pickle on top.
Oh,
It was
yes. Oh
it
my
was a,
God.
it was a ridiculous hot dog. It was a ridiculous. I was like, I just want this to be like obscene. I was like, are you okay with that? He's like, I love that. He's like, this sounds amazing. I
That's
was like, yeah,
awesome.
it's gonna be really good, dude. Like, I think
That's
that, and like
awesome.
we sold 20 of them that night, which for a little pop up, I was like, there we go.
Awesome.
That's hot. That's great.
You mentioned meatloaf, and somebody asked, can you make meatloaf? Can you infuse meatloaf? Or have you infused a meatloaf? And would you?
Oh, would I? That's a really funny lead-in right there, actually. Hilarious. Um, yeah, I'd say you could. I
Okay.
think the best way to do that is to use it in the sauce that you're putting over the meatloaf.
Okay.
Because you always
Hmm.
glaze the meatloaf at the
Yeah.
end of it, right? So
Hmm.
if you were to make an infused sauce, if you use the whole thing and it went over the whole thing, then you would know, like, all right, I get 10 slices out of this. I know that each slice has X amount of THC on it,
Right.
you know? So you could play it out that way and it would
Okay.
work very well. Like you could even do it
Nice.
like right at the end. So it was just kind of like, oh, there it is. It's nice even spread. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be approximate. It's not going to be
Hmm.
like dead on balls accurate, if you will.
Right.
But it's still a good way of kind of playing around with that. So yeah, you can infuse meatloaf.
Okay. All right. So I with I don't know if you watch much of the Olympics, but like we did, and Kelly like kind of marveled like how like Snoop has become like a household like name. Like,
Yeah.
who are some of your favorite 420 or cannabis fans, celebrities, I guess? Who
Like
you have?
influencers, celebrities, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, oh man, I've always looked up to Seth Rogen for what he's done with
Okay.
everything. He's got an empire for himself that is just like I can't believe it. Like he's
Yeah.
gone the full fucking like refined, like we are the upper crust stoners, kind of thing. I
Hmm.
didn't I didn't think he would turn into that, like the high end stoner market,
Yeah.
but there he is. He tapped into it by making the house plant products, which was brilliant. And he's like, they're making vinyl mixes and they're doing all this
Wow.
stuff. And it's like and he's got his own weed strains, he's got his own like
Hmm.
grows going on. So it's like you could smoke his weed out and like use his houseplant products while listening to his playlist. You know what I mean? Like he was
That's
trying to
freaking
create
great.
the full experience at your home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's amazing. Then you got like Cheech and Chong have always just been kind of like, man, fuck this, smoke weed. But then they're peddling like, the Delta product, the crypto weed that I call it. But it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, and there's some things with that's just kind of weird, but they sell like more like approachable stuff and more
Hmm.
like, I don't want to like when I use the word stoner, I want to take the word back. I think it's good to take the word back with the whole stoner aspect,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they play very much into the stoner. They
Hmm.
kind of helped create that kind of thing, that's that viewpoint of the person who smokes weed.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of different vibes, but I respect I respect it for sure. And like, yeah, Snoop Dogg doing what he's done, just like the way he markets himself and is able to like just get into these things now. I'm just like, that's amazing. I love
Yeah.
seeing weed being just more mainstream and just kind of like, I feel like there is still just kind of like, oh, look how hilarious this is. You
Hmm.
know, that it's kind of like, look at this, look at this.
Yeah.
Like let's all like we got a stoner to do this. Aren't we cool? Aren't we like you know, like I know
Yeah.
that there's that double-edged sword to it, so you can't look away from that while
Hmm.
like being entertained by it. You know, you gotta call it what it is. But you know, they do that with all of that. I mean, and that's kind of stuff with Twitch as well. So it's just kind of like, you know, they don't they're okay with it, kind of, you know. You gotta
Right.
follow the rules and do all that kind of stuff. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are doing stuff on there that are great, like Cupins is somebody that I love to watch. He smokes tons of weed. He tries new products.
Nice.
You know, he's great. There's a lot of different influencers on Instagram now that are
Yeah.
like food oriented that do a lot of stuff with that. They're very open about it, and I'm like, you know, I'm glad to see it happen. I do, but it's also like it sucks because those guys get banned and shadow banned really easily.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
YouTube as well. It's a rough thing to watch.
this
But
guy I
in that
knew
moment,
on Mixer. He's I think he's on Twitch sometimes and streams at Split the Wig, and he owns like I think a couple locations like dispensaries,
oh
and like
okay,
he grows and stuff. He's a real nice guy. Like I've known him. I think I started streaming in 2017, and I met him in 2018. So his goal was always to kind of open a dispensary and to
yeah,
grow his own and stuff. And like his stuff on Twitter. I'm still gonna call it Twitter. It's fucking Twitter, whatever.
yeah.
Like, but like the stuff he posts and like he still games and stuff, and it's a great crossover. I thought you mentioned Snoop and like marketing and that smoke campaign where he said he's gonna give up smoke.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
no, it was hilarious.
I was
People
like,
bought
this,
it.
yeah. I'm like, wait,
People,
no. I'm like, oh, smokeless fire pits, nice.
the fact that he came out and he's like, I'm giving up the smoke, and
Hmm.
everybody bought it hook, line, and sinker to the
Yep.
point that even like multiple like magazines and online like readerships wrote articles about him not smoking weed anymore. And I was
Uh
like, I can't believe
huh.
that everybody bought this. It was a Friday. He did it
Yeah.
on a Friday. He
Yeah.
did it perfect time. He did it on a Friday, so everybody be talking about it over the weekend. And
Yep.
it exploded. I was just like, there's no way.
Yeah.
He's quit before, and he did it in a more like, I'm quitting. I'm gonna stop smoking weed, guys.
Yeah.
Do it. Like
Yeah.
see, like this. Look at this shit. Look at the way this is shot. You know, look at all this. Like, no way,
Yeah.
no way, guys. He's got you. I'm sorry. And then it happened. I was like, good, because that's hilarious. So all these people were retracting their state, but I'm
Yep.
like, you know what that did more so than sell those smokeless fire pits was just sell him more. I'm
Yep.
like, it was the fire pits. Like,
100%.
yes, you remember that it was about a smokeless fire pit, but you remember him just what he pulled to do that. And
Yeah.
that's why he's so big, dude. That's why he's the king of that shit. Like, you know,
I
because he played into his brand so fucking
He
well
did.
that like all those people just had a meltdown.
It was great. Well, like, and I actually love that he was doing the Olympics because, like, I think two
Yeah.
2 or 4 years ago when he was doing the studio thing with Kevin Hart.
Yeah. That was the last Olympics when he did that.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
the
it was
yeah.
great. He was just clowning around and having fun, and like they took him to see
Yeah.
the horses and stuff. I'm like, yes, Snoop and the
Yeah. Well, and
horses.
that's why I was like, everybody was like, Snoop's doing the Olympics. I was like, he did the Olympics last year.
Yeah,
Or the
yeah,
last time. He did it 4 years ago, and just you don't remember because it was like COVID time.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
weird, you know? But like,
Uh,
yeah, he did that. He did that. And it was hilarious, man.
yeah.
It was
It was
so
like
funny.
I didn't
Like
think they
when
were going
you
to keep it up. Like they had Keenan in there, but like Snoop and Kevin Hart were hilarious. Like some of those
Oh
clips,
yeah.
they still come up, and I'm like, this
Oh
is
yeah.
hilarious.
No, it was so smart like to have like such a good time because I think they had other people
Yeah,
commentating and doing that kind of stuff
yeah.
obviously because they couldn't do it all, but they were like just doing the recap. So fucking funny,
It
man.
was
Like
great.
I loved it. No, it's great. It was great content. And
Yeah.
you know, that's yeah, as far as like favorites, like yeah, Snoop and all them,
Mm.
like just to see what they've accomplished and how far they've come in the game and
Yeah.
like been doing this since day one. And there's so many unsung heroes that are doing stuff behind the scenes. you know, and like all that kind of stuff that you're just
Mhm.
like nobody knows about because they're the ones like actually in the cannabis industry.
Right.
But you know, it's just cool to see it getting more mainstream and more like I can talk about it at work and
Yeah.
not feel like I'm gonna get in trouble. You know, I'm just like,
Nice.
yeah, it's recreational here. I can do it in my free time. It's like me talking about having a drink.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, no, I go home and I smoke a bowl. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah. I was like, sometimes if you guys call me off, if you guys try to call me on my day off, I just will warn you. There is a very strong chance I'm gonna be high.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't, you know, it's like it's my day off. I'm gonna smoke some weed. I'm probably
Yeah.
streaming. And they're like, oh, okay. Because they understand that, you know, that's like the big thing. I'm like, I do
Yeah.
this and I do this, and this is kind of like my other job. I have a community. We do these things, and it's so
Yeah.
much fun. And I love it. But yeah, I'm not gonna sacrifice that for this, guys. It's like, come
No.
on, that's that work-life balance.
Yeah. You gotta enjoy the time off too. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
The one bad time I tried an edible in October before a race because I deal with
Ooh.
anxiety a lot before long runs,
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I did half. I did just a 5 milligram, but it was 5:30 in the morning.
Oh
I'm in
yeah,
the
super
car.
sleepy.
I was in the car. I was like, Kelly's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "I feel great. I don't have anxiety."
Yeah, you're like, now I'm just kind of sleepy. Like I want some coffee or something. Yeah,
can we hit like Starbucks or something, or hit a coffee joint? Because this is not good.
that's like me before going to the gym. Everybody talks about pre-workout stuff when they go to the gym, and
Yeah.
I still haven't really cared enough to look into it, but because I'm always like, I smoke a dab and drink
Nice.
a quart of water before going to the gym. That's my pre-workout. I have something for afterwards, obviously, you know, but
Right.
you know, but it's like, yeah, I'm always just like, I don't know, I just want to get high. I go to I want to get so high and go to the gym so early in the morning that I completely forget that I've gone to the gym until around 1 in the afternoon when I go, fuck, why are my legs so sore? I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I ran a fucking 11-minute mile and then did leg day.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That makes
That's
sense.
why my legs are sore. I was just so high and it was 6 in the morning. I've put it out. I've so much has happened. I've put it out of my memory. It was a horrible experience that I've now blocked out. Great.
I've joked like with chat here and there, like when I get back to like the longer distance runs on the trail, like because I've run like that stretch of trail so much. I'm like, what if like I just get ripped and just go run? It's just like that could be fun. It could be entertaining for you all. Like,
yeah. Hey,
man,
you know what? It could be.
It could, or they could all be texting Kelly like, "Hey, Dan's here. You might want to go get him."
You can come. Just follow his. Yeah, just watch his stream. You'll be able to find him. Snipe him.
Figure it out.
Snipe him on stream.
He's stripped down to his underwear, trying to go to the Piggly Wiggly now to get some ice cream. Like it's not good.
I've never been that high. I will say there's never been anything that I've ever been where I've gotten high where I do that. The highest I've ever been on stream is right before I signed off because I ate that 100 milligram. I had that 100 milligram drink because chat. I was like, well, I'll tell you what. If you can get us to this many subs, I'll drink this drink. I've done it twice now because I came into another one. And I was like, great, I'll save this for that. But it's basically, all right, I'll drink it and we'll see how far we get before I have to shut down stream. Because at one point it's done. And every time it happens, Jess is always there as I'm like starting to lay down. She's talking to me. And I'm like, oh, baby, I'm here, but I'm not here. Okay. She's like, oh, okay. Like, sorry, I'm just like, I'm not going to be non-responsive for a bit. There's just, that's just all that can be done. I'm sorry. I love you.
Nicole wants to know if you will do a dab now.
You know the rules about dabs. If you want to redeem dabs, you know the rules.
I think the last time you did that drink, I went to Kelly because I pulled back on like gifting. I'm like, Kelly, this is gonna be an investment, but it's gonna be funny and it's for the good of everyone. She's like, I'm gonna gift some subs. Like, there's a goal, and she's like, okay. Whoa! What are you doing?
That's the rules.
That's
the
also
rules for a dab.
Oh my gosh. Well, all right.
I do a dab at 2,000 bits.
I mean, I got to do 4 spicy beans next game stream.
Oh no, is that what? It's 500 bits. Is spicy bean?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't realize
five
that.
sub.
No,
That's
no.
fine.
Tell you what, we're on my rules, not on your rules, okay? You don't have to
All
do
right.
that. I'll do the dab. You keep your spicy beans for another time,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Fair.
Okay, this is my burden to bear. This is my gift to you on this podcast today.
I love it. Nicole, thank you for the bits. You don't have to do that. so, so we talk about like the working out as you're preparing here for the dab. I'm gonna ask.
Yeah,
You mentioned working out. How are the gains with all the squats?
dude, I'll tell you what. It's funny. You know those moments when you do something and you're kind of like, this is just silly and da 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 da, like whatever. It might have a payoff, it might not, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've been out of the kitchen, professional, like working in a kitchen for a while. And one of the main thing I was thinking about too is just like, how's that gonna go when I finally get back into that? It's been so long. I'm gonna be on my feet forever, you know? I was like, I need to build up the strength there. Because like I'll do streams, but the streams aren't that long, and I'm in my own kitchen. I'm not walking like around. I'm like back and forth, back and forth. You know, you get a lot of steps when you're in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So, you know, the squats, the gains that I've seen are that now in the kitchen I can still run circles around these cooks that are in there that are younger than me. And I'm just like, at the end of the day, they see me and they're like, wait, when did you get here? And I was like, I've been here since this time. When did you get? And they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah. And you guys are talking about how tired you are. So I'm tired too. Don't get me wrong, but
that's big brain there. That is big brain.
Like,
that's
so
awesome.
It paid off. Like, you know, it was kind of just like also just to be like, let's keep working out, even if I'm not going to the gym. Like you guys will make me work out. But you know, overall, it's there's been some days when I've had to do like 200 squats and it's insane, you know. And then there's some days where it's like, yeah, we're doing like 25, cool, that's nice. You know, whatever, it's a balance, I guess. Like but yeah, it's that's how it's paid off, is that getting this job, I've been able to stand on my feet longer and not notice it as much, you know.
Now we talk about this, I think I still owe like 100 something because they actually took mercy on me like one of the runs. They're like, you know what, stop. So I think I still owe someone to get back to running, or I guess I could do
God, you just got to run miles, or it's like you had like every
squats
like,
so I owe like I'll stop and do some every so often. Like we're revamping. I used to do for a while, I did Wheel of Pain where it was like random exercises and spin the wheel. So
well, this is kind of reflective when I first started streaming, and I said, all right, every what was it? Every 1,500 bits was a power set. And that was me doing 5 jumping jacks, 5 squats, 5 sit-ups, 5 push-ups, and planking for 15 seconds.
Oh my.
And I was like, yeah, I'll do that for 50. And this person came in, they were like, bet 1,500 bits. I was like, fuck. So I did one. 1,500 bits. I was like, fuck. And I had to do another one. And then we just kept doing that.
Oh my god.
Until it got to 7,500 bits. And I was just like sweating in my kitchen. Just like, what have I done? Why would I do this? I didn't realize people would do such a thing. And the guy was just like, the guy at the end was just like, did you learn a lesson? I was like, I did. You're insane. So I didn't, I took that off the menu immediately after that stream. I was so sore the next day.
Oh, first few Brew Day streams way back. I used to like, it's the equivalent of channel points. We had like soundboards on Mixer, and I had a chug button. And if someone hit it, I'd have to chug a beer. Or whatever. If I had a beer, I had to chug it. And it hit like the 4th or 5th stream, and this is before Kelly was into like streaming and knew what the hell streaming was. And a guy named Stylith from Norway, he and a couple of friends found the stream and were hanging out. I was like, do you think if we hit the button that Kelly would come in and, that's that bad Norwegian accent, would Kelly chug too? And I was like 4 beers in, and like, fucking do it, let's go. So there's I've got a clip of like 2 minutes. I mean, Kelly, come here, and she comes off camera. What? I'm like, never mind. She's like, no, what? I'm like, nothing. Everything's fine.
Nope.
But yeah, like I had a friend that was like a mod at the time. Was like, Dan, I love you, but I'm sorry for this, but I'm not. Hit it again. I'm like, he's like, you may want to take that off. That could be considered self harm. I'm like, you tell me that at the end of a brew day.
Yeah.
After you, like jerks.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I've always been surprised about is when you come up with some stupid idea that you think would be like and it just like all of a sudden people run with it and you put yourself through the worst pain of your life.
Yep.
That's not true. Not the worst pain of your life. But still, you're just like, Jesus, oh my God. You're like, that was a terrible idea. I'm never doing that again. Ever.
and then like a month later, like, hey, why don't we try that again?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you know what? It wasn't too bad. I felt really good afterwards. Like I got a really good workout. I started doing it on my own.
That's
really pushed me.
Oh, it's me and scary streams. Like I hate scary games. I hate it. And then they can hit a channel point thing. It whispers Kelly or the kids, and they'll come down and sneak up on me. Like there are times like the youngest has got me, and I'm like, oh.
I want to jump back into Lethal Company because it has crowd control stuff on it, and I know that'd be
good.
Hilarious time. Yeah. So if you have that and you want to try it, that one's scary for sure. But if you have a redemption and you want to ever do that kind of thing, we can do that.
That'd be great. Like I've seen Chef John Reed has done like 7 Days to Die with like some crowd control stuff. I'm like, it's just fun to sit there and be like, boop! And like Rexus will come in too, and like Rexus will sometimes like take mercy, like we'll be nice this time, but then boop.
Except for when I'm playing Skyrim and you guys do that, and everybody sends me to jail. And it's the fucking worst because I'm like, what jail am I in? And I'm like, where's the original jail? Because they like took all my gear. I had to like sneak back in to take it back. And it got so bad that I was just like, I can't, guys. I have to restart. I can't. I got to go back before you guys screwed me over in the fucking jail. It's terrible.
Rex says, I give you horses.
Yeah. You give me horses that attack me. That shit is insane. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Is the worst. Oh my God. Terrible trolls.
Oh my God. That like in the mod, it's usually mods. Like mods troll us the best, and like that's how you know you got a good mod.
Oh yeah, always. Are you kidding me? No, my best trolls are my mods. It's like and vice versa. You know.
Yeah,
they keep
Bob
me on.
Bob does some subtle ones when he comes in. I used to use the Steve Martin Oklahoma sound from Dirty Round Scoundrels. That was my raid sound back on Mixer, and I still have it as a channel point thing. So it starts, and he's like, I hit it because you're like, is it a raid? Wait, no, it's not. Like, because I'm like, hey, oh, wait, it's not a raid. Shit. But he just the subtle things.
Just the little things.
Yeah. If we're not trolling you, are we even mods? True potted toast, man.
Yeah, exactly. Powdered toast man.
Cling tenaciously to his buttocks. If you could hang out, this is celebrity adjacent. If you could hang out with one Sesame Street character on stream for a week, who would it be?
Grover.
Grover would be great.
Grover, man. That's a no-brainer. That's like I think like, you know, you can't hang out with Bert or Ernie, right? Not on one-on-one like that. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, and like Elmo, hell no. And then you got Oscar, which is cool, but I think I might just get like tired of the smell of the garbage.
Trash. Yeah.
You know, and like Big Bird is big, and I don't want to be walking in somebody's asshole for a whole week. Snuffleupagus is imagination. That's him.
Right.
He's not real. I mean, he is in the mind of Big Bird. So you can't hang out with him unless you're hanging out with Big Bird.
Right.
But Grover, no, Super Grover. Grover, Grover. Because no, Gonzo is what you're thinking of. OG. Gonzo is the one with the chickens. Grover is Super Grover. You know,
It's the same voice. It's the Yoda voice, which I always got mad when Lucas started redoing the trilogy and Empire. I kind of wanted Yoda, like when he pulled the X-wing out, like near, far, and just to fuck with Luke because he was so whiny. Like it's the same voice.
Yeah, I would say Cookie Monster would be second on that list if Grover was unavailable.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
but Cookie Monster, I would just be like, count. No, man, reconstruct. I don't want to be. I don't want to be counting things all the time. I mean, it'd be fun to go to a dinner party with the count, but I feel like all day, every day, when he's just like, two, two bong rips,
Ah. Ah. Ah.
constantly, I'm gonna be like, God damn it, dude! Not everything needs to be a joke. Can we talk about what got us here today? Okay, count. Can we talk about why you have to count everything? I think that's more important to kind of hone in on here. Okay,
Yes.
let's bring it back. Let's focus on you for a little bit. You know, that's that's how
Makes
I
us.
feel my conversation would go with count in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
I have not put any thought into this ahead of time, just so we all know. Okay.
No, this is he's not. It's this is all like we kept some of these secret because I didn't want him to see some of these. um, so I know you cook a lot and you've got a lot of experience. What's your favorite type of food?
Okay, everybody asks me this, and I
Uh
think
huh.
this is something that every chef, every cook gets asked.
Yeah.
Um, and the first answer
Uh
that
huh.
every chef will give you is anything not cooked by me.
Fair. Okay.
Anything that I don't have to make is my
Yeah.
favorite food. That's like if I don't have to make it, that's what I want
Okay.
to eat. But sandwiches is mine.
Nice.
It's always been that way. We've done some more things, and I kind of that's another thing that we were talking about content and things to bring back and like better
Yeah.
planning. And like I want to do some sandwich streams where it's like we did it before where
Mhm.
I made sandwiches based upon fictional characters or like from just from like TV and movies and books and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And we did a Shrek sandwich, which was just basically a layered onion sandwich that was on onion bread.
Nice.
And it was a lot of fun. I can't remember what the other one we did was. I'd have to look back and see what it
Okay.
was. But we did a Hannibal
Okay.
Lecter sandwich, which was fried chicken livers
Okay. Yeah.
with a beet puree on milk toast with
Okay.
oh god, I can't remember what else there was, but it's like yeah, I didn't have any fava beans. We didn't do anything like that. But I was gonna do like some like chopped fava beans with it or something. But it turned it looked really good, looked really tasty, but it was like yeah, it's liver and red and all that kind of stuff. It was very
Nice.
very cannibal animal. Um, so yeah, sandwiches is what I would say. I mean, I ran a sandwich shop for 4 years, and
Okay.
I love doing like hot dogs and stuff like that, which I know aren't I don't refer to them as sandwiches, but they're sandwich adjacent.
Right.
Um, but yeah, overall, I've always loved just coming up with that stuff because there's so many different like variations that you can get all over the world as far as like what a sandwich would be. Like,
Hmm.
tortas, you got paninis out here, whatever. But it's like every state has their own like state sandwich. There's like
Yep.
the list on it because it's like the most sold sandwich or whatever in that state kind of stuff. There's like a whole
Yeah.
calendar that I've seen that has that stuff. And there's throughout history like what kind of sandwiches were made based upon what availability was. So there's like a bunch of depression era sandwiches
Hmm.
that's just like this is a tomato sandwich and it's just like tons of mayonnaise and like thick ass tomatoes with salt and like some like raw red onion that's been sliced really thin, and that's
Oh,
like and you just bite into that and it's like actually this is
that'd be
fucking
good.
fire. It's
Yeah.
like this is really good. you know. But it's just kind of like, what do you have? I've got tomatoes. All right, mayonnaise and tomatoes. You got some
Yep.
onion? Yeah, great. Put it on
Got
there.
it.
Like done. There's your sandwich. What the hell? Why are we overthinking this? We're in the depression. We don't have a lot of food.
Right.
So the fact that we're growing tomatoes and we can do this is great.
Yeah.
Um, just stuff like that is really
Okay.
cool to kind of look at and kind of see like what trends and everything and that like you saw Subway and Quiznos and all these random sandwich shop pop up over the years and how popular they've gotten and what they've done to it. Chiba Hut, if you've ever heard that before,
Yep.
is a hilarious one. They're a stoner kind of, yeah. They're definitely like, oh yeah, we're trying to attract college teen or college stoners is like what they want in there.
Yeah.
And then people like me who is just sometimes want a grubby little sandwich. But overall, yeah, I'd say sandwiches are
Okay.
because there's just so many different things that you can do with it and make your own and just have fun with it. So, yeah,
Okay. Nice. That's can't
yeah,
beat a good sandwich. The only I
no.
have to admit that as a Chicagoan, I'm probably gonna have someone come and lock me up, but I do not like Italian beef sandwiches.
Oh, like the dip? Is
Yeah,
that
with
what it
au
is?
jus,
Yeah,
yeah, I just
yeah. You don't like the
it's
wet sandwich texture?
no, I can't like I don't
Yeah,
like wet bread, you know. That's like if I make like
that's
an egg
fair.
sandwich, I'll toast the bread. Like I
Yeah.
don't yeah.
See, here's how I feel about that kind of bread.
Hmm.
If it's like crusty,
Hmm.
like super crusty and like almost like stay old. I
Yeah.
almost feel like that's because some people will just put it on that white bread and they dunk it in and you eat it and it's just like falling apart as you're eating it. When I'm like, I feel like this was usually done like on rolls that
Yep.
actually have structure. It's almost like you want to dip it
Right.
because of that. It's like you dip it so that it softens, so that it just eats like kind of normal at that
Yeah.
point. And I'm like, so I don't know. I agree with you when it's just like it's like those sandwiches that you used to get where the tomato would like melt and soak the bottom piece of bread.
Yeah.
You'd have this weird contrast of like this bread is baked, but it's a weird bread already. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like that weird, like, yeah, really enriched
Yeah.
uh flour stuff, and then the bottom is just soaked and
It's all
saturated like a
mush.
sponge. It's
Yeah.
mush, yeah, and like you're just like, oh, dude,
That's
like I hate this.
it's
Oh,
not fun. It's like sometimes some burger places. It's the similar thing. You go to a burger
oh
place and there's so much
yeah,
shit in a burger, and the bottom bun is just
yeah.
goop. And like you
That's
turn the
yeah.
sandwich over because it's just it's the same kind of
See,
thing.
this is what my mom used to do, and it was brilliant because it was like the hardest thing to take off a sandwich is the sauce.
Yeah.
So she'd always be like, "Yeah, give me the burger, no mayo." And they're like, fuck. They have to make it fresh
Yep.
right then and there because if they have any like stacked up, they're like, nope, got to be no mayo. All of these have mayo. It's like,
Yep.
damn it, you know.
Smart.
So they make it fresh, and she's like, then just ask for mayo on the side,
Yeah.
right there. And I was like, that's a good one. That's a good one right there.
Yeah. That's big brain. That like my dad used to get soda with no ice. I'm like, why? He's like, I get more soda. I'm like, huh.
Oh yeah, it's like we're
Oh.
going home anyway. We got ice at home.
Yeah. Like I'm he's like, I'm not gonna have it that long where it's gonna get that warm. I'm like,
Yeah.
fair point.
Yep. Yep.
Fair point. Small
Right.
things like that. Clab, just spank. Man, Clabby coming in hot. Spank the burger. Okay, I'll spank it.
Very
Okay.
good.
One more guest question. One more chat question. Uh,
Okay.
the the walking and talking.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
when did that start? Was that just how long have you done walking? I
Oh
guess. And
yeah.
then, if streaming and chef life doesn't work out, have you ever thought about doing like voiceover work?
I'll answer the latter part of the question first. I
Okay.
have always wanted to do voiceover work. It's
I
been a
love it.
dream of mine. I have no idea how to get into it or what to do. And I've always been just like, if anybody's come up to me and said, hey, I want you, like, can you do something like this? I'd gladly be like,
Be
yes, fuck
awesome.
it. That'd be
Yeah.
funny. Like, I'd love to do stuff like that even if it's just like I'm just like, yeah, I mean, if you want to pay me, like it's gonna I'll charge like this much because like I don't know, like whatever. It's just more about having some fun.
Yeah.
But like I'd rather just be like cool doing stuff for people. But the walk-in aspect of it, that started that started in my childhood. My uncle is an actor, and my
Okay.
brother and I, we'd be hanging out, and I don't know where it popped up. We just started talking about Christopher Walken, and I was like, I don't know who that is, and he's like, you don't know who Walken is? Oh my god! So he's like, you gotta watch. He's like, you can watch these movies. These would be okay for you to watch, like Batman Returns,
Yeah.
and like stuff like that where he was in there. So I'd watch some of those movies, and I was like, yeah, his voice is so weird. He's like, well, the important thing is you got to get that Bronx kind of accent down. You're like, oh, whoa, what are you talking about here? It's crazy. Oh, dude, what? Kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
He's like, and so we started talking about that. My brother and he and I, would be like going to comic book shops and stuff like that, and it was just very funny having those conversations where, you're just like, everybody's like talking the same thing and just being really silly and just like leaving ego behind, because you're just like, what, we're just having fucking hilarious time here. There's like nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
So like, once we all kind of got the Bronx thing down, he was teaching us the Bronx, and then he was like, okay, now the inflections, So it turned into a thing where this is what we did in our own time, and nobody actually knew about it, we realized, until it was at like Thanksgiving. And it turned into this, hey, Uncle Mike, pass the peas. Pass the peas. And like we used to say, and he'd be like, whoa, these peas here. Come on, you want these peas, you gotta ask it nicer than that. Maybe a please with those peas, like shit like that. And then the whole table is just sitting there like, what the hell is going on? And then my brother kicks in and he's like, nobody wants any mashed potatoes, So it just turned into this joke, and it just became a party trick,
That's
where
awesome.
I'd go out and do that. And it just made sense to put it on the stream. Since day one, it's been there.
Okay.
It'll never go away. I think people get tired of it. They're just like, oh,
hell no.
Fucking hill walking now. But no, he's been there for a while. I want to bring back. I want to try and bring back the Walk and Reads Redemption too. That's been a while since I've done those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun thing where we had to hit certain goals, and then I would read a book.
Yeah.
A children's book as Christopher Walken to chat.
I love that.
That's all it was.
It's glorious. I remember second grade getting kicked out of class for imitating Dr. Claw fighting with E.T. Because they're similar, basically the same voice. Like, I'll get your gadget. It hurts the throat, but like, yeah.
He's more nasally in that moment.
Yeah. But like, my dad's like, you got to stop. I'm like, why? It's like, because it's okay to do jokes, but you got to pay attention in class. Like, okay.
Like, do that at recess, man. That's recess time. Okay.
Yeah. Recess. Once in a while, pick your spots during class, but not for like 10 minutes straight. Okay. All right, Dad. Fair.
All right. Fair. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh.
Yeah,
that's why walking is only 2 minutes at a time. You know? And there's a cool down. I don't want to get like it means that I'll do it like maybe if somebody's redeeming it every time, like maybe 3 or 4 times a stream.
Yeah.
Which is like, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
That's enough.
I think my favorite. I think I've talked about this in stream. My favorite random walk-in. It's I think it's the Rundown where he's the bad guy.
Oh yeah. And he talks
about
the Tooth Fairy.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, no! I'm right there with you. The Tooth Fairy monologue is amazing. It's just that perfect moment at the end where he's telling this. He's just going off on his tirade, and then he goes, "Wait a minute. Do you even know what the fuck a Tooth Fairy is?"
Somebody explain to them.
Somebody explained to him the concept of a Tooth Fairy. And it's just like,
it was so goofy.
Like, that was probably the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Just like when he's just like, I'm using this fucking analogy that means nothing. Like, they're just like, what are you talking about?
It's so rad. I was like, that's great. It is just stuck. Like,
God. The only thing I remember about that movie. I could probably watch that movie again and have zero recollection of anything that happened until that moment.
Yep. I probably remember the little thunder. Oh, yep, the little thunder. Oh, maybe a little lightning.
Yeah.
Like, that's about it. Like, that's,
That's it.
Yeah, that's... All right, one last question, and then we'll wrap up. But have you guys? I know you and Jess, like, do you guys have a vacation dream spot that you want to go? Somewhere you want to go, or like it doesn't have to be one place. Like, is there an area like backpacking Europe, or do you guys have a spot?
Yeah, Europe is definitely at the top of that list.
Okay.
Well, there's like there's a I don't know. I can't remember. We looked it up before. I wonder if they're still doing it, but it's like a cruise liner that runs through Europe.
Okay.
And stops at all these ports and spots, and you go and you look at castles and you do all that kind of stuff. And she was like, it'd be fun to go and like travel in one of the cities and like fly out of another city, like wherever we go for that, and just
Hmm.
like kind of like go and do that, but then like do some additional traveling as well. I was like, yeah, that'd be sick for sure. I've
Cool.
always wanted to go to Australia and
Oh yeah.
uh and check out that area.
Okay.
That's always been on my bucket list.
Okay.
Um, but because it's one of those things where I'm like, you could go in the winter time and it'd be summer, or you know what I mean? Like if you
Yep.
go, it's kind of like if you go in the spring, it's gonna be fall, or if you go in the
Yep.
fall, it's gonna be spring. So it's like kind of cool to like think of it in that sense
Yeah.
of like you could go a totally different time of year and enjoy a totally different time of year. So, but yeah, I've definitely been
Okay.
interested in Europe or Australia as like that vacation spot. But don't get me wrong,
Nice.
I do love just the sandy beach, and we went to Cancun. That was
Mm.
all right. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Nice.
But yeah, like really beautiful beaches. I think we're trying to plan a trip to the Philippines next year.
Nice. Okay.
So we'd be there for like 10 days or something like that.
Okay.
I'm just like, holy shit, that's like so long to think about on a vacation. I don't think I've ever taken a vacation that's like 10 days.
Wow.
It's real, it's like that's a lot of travel time, but I also get it's like, yeah, you're gonna be doing 2 days of travel
Right.
essentially to get
Yeah.
there. It's gonna be good God, that's
Yeah.
a flight.
Yeah. That's a haul.
So but it'd be a lot of
Nice.
fun. It'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, there's stuff like that we're just we're trying to plan up. But yeah,
Cool.
Europe, Australia, but probably the Philippines next year.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I wanna before I turn it over to you for kind of like we're gonna kind of borrow from Hot Ones in a
Oh.
sec, but I wanted to say thanks for doing this, man. Thanks for coming on. This has
Oh
been
yeah.
a
No,
hell of a
dude.
good time.
Always great to hang out with you and do
Yeah.
shit like this. It's always fun, dude. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This has been a lot of fun, and like I'm gonna keep doing these, but like we got to collab. We got to get back to collabs and stuff because
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's why I think that mead thing would be a lot of fun.
hell
We could
yeah.
plan something out.
Yeah, it's been like I mean I had a series kind of we started over here with my friend Jared, one of my mods, like teaching him to brew. If I can teach Jared to brew and do mead, I can teach anyone. And he literally in before around the Chicago Marathon, he actually came with his fiance and we did a brew. We're like, all right, we're gonna see who did it better.
Yeah.
Fucker won. The fucker won on
Oh,
one of the
really?
beers. Yeah, he fucked it up so bad. We were trying to make a brown ale, like a clone that I've done a few times, and I
Uh-huh.
don't know what he did, but he ended up making like a really thick stout, and it just worked as a stout. And I'm
Oh,
like he
it's like
back
you
assed,
fucked up the brown brew, but you made a
yeah,
stout and it's really good.
yeah, and it's way. I'm like the fuck, like you win. So like, yeah, we'll do that. But as we kind of wrap up, I want to give you like a couple minutes here, just give you the floor to kind of tell everybody where they can find you. Like a lot of people know they've been here, but like tell people, oh shit, Clabby, oh damn, Clab, giving
Yo! Bam,
five
bam, bam,
subs.
bam, bam!
Thank you, Clab.
Pew, 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 pew.
Dang. I want to give you a chance to kind of talk about what you got coming up, talk about things in general, and just kind of give you the floor again, man.
Uh, well, thanks, man. No, and I
Yeah,
appreciate you having me on. This is always I love doing this with other streamers, especially homies.
good
So
shit.
yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, you can find me lots of places. BBBubbz. I'm on Twitter. I've got Twitch, obviously.
Hmm.
That's the main thing you're gonna find me on. Join the Discord if you want to join the Discord there. We got a lot of different stuff, and I'm working on some things to try and make it more cohesive to a work schedule now.
Okay.
I think that's basically what we're working towards right now, and once that gets into play, yeah, we're gonna be finally firing up the IRL streams in a
Yes.
minute because I'm finally getting back to a more financial stable position, which is fantastic. So
Hmm.
that'll help a lot, and we can go and do things more like that. And
Nice.
yeah, cooking in the kitchen, making more content, and trying to figure out this one thing that I wanted to do off stream just for online, like TikTok, Instagram, and all that. That it wouldn't be me cooking, but it would be reviews of breakfast burritos
Ooh, dude.
in town. And so
Okay.
like I'm finally at a part where I'm like, all right, I'm making enough money now. I don't feel bad. And this will also make me go back to the gym, going full circle to that. Because I'm like, yeah, man, we'll go to the gym and I'll pre-pick a breakfast burrito spot, and then like
Perfect.
that's what it'll be. So yeah, trying to come up with some more concepts and just have some
Okay.
fun while balancing work and life and streaming. It's been interesting so far, but it's been a big payoff and benefit in my life in respects to the community that I've built, the friends that I've made, the amazing times I've had on stream, and also what it's taught me, and how I can apply it in anything else that I do in this world. And that's the
I
biggest
love it.
thing right there. It's not just about what you do; it's about how you apply what you've learned in the past too. So
I love it.
yeah, it's been great, man. It's been really great.
Awesome. Well,
Rexus, you're awesome.
Rexus is awesome. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank Bubbz again for being on. Follow him. We're gonna get another shout out here. I will put all your links and stuff. When I get this out, I got to get episode 3 finished. I'm gonna render that tomorrow, but I'll work on ours. So like in a weekish, this will come out on where you find like podcasts. I couldn't think of the word podcast. Podcast slipped from my mind. That's great. But we'll share it. Let y'all know when you can listen to it or watch it or both. But for BBBubbz and for myself, Run Dan Run, we've just given you the runaround. I got to work on that. I'm giving you the runaround, and then there'll be like an outro, graphic and like stuff and like a song maybe. I don't know, but I'm gonna stop the recording thing here. So all right, we're recorded there. That's good. I feel like we should raid.
Raiding out?
I think we should raid out because I got to do dinner and then Kayla and I got to go be parents and go to the school for like a fundraising thing. Like we're gonna be on the board for like and the parent group at the high school where my kid goes. Like they actually fund 3 teacher positions. So
wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna go and like it's our first in-person meeting and like actually be social with other parents and
do all that kind of thing.
Nice. Oh, we'll go see Negan then. Good idea. We'll raid Negan.
There you go.
Yeah. Can we get thanks to Bubbz, we need a raid Dan Run. We need a run raid command for Chef Negan. We're not finding her. There she is. All right, y'all. We're gonna raid. Thank you for hanging out with Bubbz and I. Love your faces.
Bye, guys.
I might be back tomorrow in the morning for a ride. I don't know. We'll see what meetings and stuff happen. But yeah, we're gonna raid here. Thanks for hanging out. Love your faces, you dill holes, and we'll see you guys soon.